So my original idea was to make something kind of in the style of the Boris report in the New Yorker, relating to climate change. And my little gag here was a private company bought up Acadia and scooted it out in the middle of the ocean and made it this exclusive resort type place that all kinds of rich folks could go to. So my initial sketches had that kind of vibe to it. Each one had kind of a resort feel to it, kind of big advertising type of vibe I was going. This sketch was kind of the beginning of the direction that I ended up taking. Since Saul Bass was my influence, I was trying to do kind of a thematic, cinematic type of feel with the kind of larger, silhouetted figures and stuff to complement the text. So while I was playing around in our type exercises, I zeroed in on this first font, the Industry Ink 3D, to kind of give that retro kind of throwback feel. I kind of felt like it had this industrial, kind of Saul Bass quality to it. And I paired it with Futura at the time because I felt like that kind of had a futurist like feel, but still kind of had the retro vibe going on. So when I was putting together this with imagery, I wanted to reference Saul Bass a little bit again, having its kind of skewed like silhouettes that represent kind of a dawning type ominous feel. I like the idea of kind of showing the topography of the land running into the ocean. I kind of still feel like that shows a sense of something being removed. But honestly, through a lot of feedback, this really didn't work. The imagery feels very static. There's some disassociation between the tagline and the main logo, and also just a lack of color kind of keeps it feeling kind of a little bit too flat. So I wanted to go back and try to take another pass at adding some textures and depth to it, based on some advice from Heidi in my period. So based on feedback from Heidi, I added some textures to the imagery, which I feel does give it a lot of extra depth. And I also adjusted my color palette based on the feedback of some of my peers with a few minor tweaks here and there. I think it ended up working out pretty well. Also throwing some kind of fun New Englandy elements such as the birds and the pirate ship, which to me represents kind of old New England type ghost stories. Seagulls are supposed to be the reincarnation of sailors who have died at sea, so I felt like adding those would kind of give this kind of spooky point of no return type vibe to it. Also, I just wanted to make sure that it didn't get too dark, so that's why I played around with some of the kind of greenish pastel colors for the clouds, just to add a little bit of depth and also to push the kind of foreboding imagery to the foreground. I decided to rethink my theme as Arcadia being like a purgatorial type space where the people who visit there project their worst fears of their own personal lives onto their afterlife. I've seen this theme through a few horror movies, and I think it would be kind of fun that every person that shows up at this island has a different experience based on their own personal baggage. So, in closing, I had a lot of fun with this project. I feel like it got me back in touch with my creative side that I haven't really tapped into in a little while. And I'm looking forward to doing more work in this class. It's been a blast. So, thanks, everybody. See you later.